Hello guys, and welcome back to the Crypto Unveiled YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Cetus protocol, or Cetus for short. You can see the current price of Cetus is currently sat at just over 9 cents per Cetus, and you can see the market cap. I would consider this quite a small market cap, only at $78 million. It's not one of the smallest market caps that I've covered on this channel, but it's definitely still down there, so definitely still has a lot of potential to rise in the future. 24-hour volume, $16.6 million, actually up 3%, so not too bad. Volume to market cap ratio is actually very high, which is very nice to see. Around 21% on the 24-hour volume to market cap ratio, which again, you know, I always like to say around a 6 to 8%, I would say, or maybe 6 to 10% is a very good range to be in for the volume to market cap ratio. So 21% is always very, very nice to see. It just shows there's a lot of volume, a lot of people currently, you know, buying and selling this coin. Very good to see. So current circulating supply of Cetus currently sat at just over 833 million Cetus, with the max supply or the total supply sitting at 1 billion. So again, a really nice amount of circulating supply compared to the max supply as well. Around, I guess you could, yeah, basically 83.3% is currently circulating, already in supply. So if you were to invest today, when the rest of the coins do actually come into the market, your position is not going to get too diluted, which is always a very good thing. And this is probably one of the biggest factors to look at. Of course, there's, you know, looking at price, market cap, the volume, but the current circulating supply compared to the max or total supply is probably, you know, one of the biggest things to also look at. Because if the circulating supply is too low, and you do invest when the circulating supply is low, when the rest of the markets do come onto, come into circulation, your position is just going to get very diluted. Even if the coin goes up in value, if more coins come onto the market, say if it's only at 20% circulating value, circulating supply, and then another 40% come onto the market, even if the coin was to rise, say 40%, you're not actually going to make that much money at all. So that is always a very, very big thing to look at when investing into, I guess, not only just cryptocurrency, but also traditional stocks as well. See, over the last day, Cetus is not looking too good over the last day, down 7.44%. Over the last 7 days, down around 15%. Over the last month, down around 23%, and over the last year, it's actually still up around 60%. You can see, if we look at the yearly chart, you can see that Cetus had actually quite a big pump here, all the way up to 44 cents per coin, which is, you know, very good to see. But ever since that, you know, kind of decent spike, it's had one little spike back up to 22 cents, but then after that, it's dropped back down to basically, well, I guess not even where we previously, because it was around 5 cents back here, the start of 2020. What's this about? Sorry, this is about halfway through 2024. So I guess the start of the year was actually when we had this big spike. But yeah, you can see on the yearly chart, a year from today, it was around 5 cents. So, you know, people who invested back then are still going to be making some very decent profit. And if we switch it to the all-time chart, you can see it's actually still down 32% on the all-time chart, which is not great to see, I'm not going to lie. You know, when Cetus first came to the market, it was only around 12 cents, and now it's at 9 cents. But yeah, you can see here the big spike up. I guess that was the all-time high. 44 cents was actually the all-time high for Cetus. Yeah, so when we actually look at the price and we compare it to, you know, when it first came into the market, of course, this is, you know, not everyone's going to look at this as a positive. You can see, you know, we look at the chart, there's been some downs, there's been some highs, but overall it's been fairly stable. For Cetus, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, you know, because it's been out for around 2 years now and not much has happened, this, you know, a lot of people consider this a dead coin. I do not consider this a dead coin at all yet. I believe it just hasn't had the right opportunities yet. I believe if people were to actually realize the potential that Cetus actually does have, I believe that many more people will actually be interested in investing into Cetus. So now let's actually go on to what is Cetus all about. So Cetus, where on-chain trading happens, swap, earn and build on the leading decentralized exchange in crypto. So Cetus is very simple and easy to understand. You can see here, it is a leading decentralized exchange. That is as simple as it gets with Cetus. And you might be thinking now, well, if it's so simple, why am I so, why am I so crazy about the coin? Why do I see so much potential in Cetus? this is because Cetus is actually built on another cryptocurrency called Sui. And if we go on to CoinMarketCap rankings here, you can see where Sui is currently placed. You can see Sui is actually number 14 on the CoinMarketCap rankings, and it has a market cap of over $12 billion, guys. And so, once again, why am I getting so hyped about this? Because Sui is a completely different coin. You know, it's not the same coin. Cetus is just built on Sui. Well, this is because many people have been comparing Cetus to other coins which have done similar things in the past and have made a lot of money doing that. And this is the biggest thing that people are comparing Cetus to, is actually Uniswap. So, you know, what is Uniswap all about? They are the exact same as Cetus, but they are just built on a different ecosystem. And so people are comparing Cetus, so basically saying Cetus is the early stages of what Uniswap actually was. And you can see Uniswap is currently sitting at $6.26 billion in the market cap. So if we go back to Cetus now and compare the market caps, sitting at under $80 million. I mean, if we make this super simple and we say the market cap gets to $100 million, if you invest into Cetus at $100 million and it was to get to Uniswap's market cap, that'd be a 62x on your investment, which is just absolutely insane. And does Cetus actually have the potential to do as well as Uniswap? I believe yes, it does. Of course, there's a few different factors. Of course, Uniswap is built on a much bigger coin compared to Cetus is only built on Sui, which is much lower on the rankings. So I guess this would, I guess the biggest factor that would play here would be, the amount of money that's getting pumped into Cetus would probably be a lot lower because of course, I guess a lot less people would know about Sui. Would know a lot less people would, I guess, they would trust Sui. They wouldn't want to exchange on the ecosystem Sui because they've got a bigger one as Uniswap. But if we look at the fundamentals, does Cetus have what Uniswap has? Does it have the potential? I believe it does, yes. And so this is probably the biggest factor which is driving the market cap of Sui up, of Cetus up, is the fact of the narrative behind Cetus. The people are comparing Cetus to basically what's happened in the past, and you find this a lot of times in cryptocurrencies. The coin, might have already been done in the past, but people like to look at the history. They like to compare it to coins that have already done well in the past, and they say, well, if this coin has done well in the past and this coin has come out and it's got basically the same technology, maybe even better sometimes, of course you'd hope they'd be better because it's a newer coin, more modern, then they would think, well, if that coin has done that well in the past, can hopefully history repeats itself and this coin can also do well in the future. So yeah, I guess the last part of the video is my personal price prediction on Cetus. So of course, from this video you would have understood that I'm extremely bullish on Cetus. Like I said, I believe this has incredible potential. The fact that it is very, very similar to Uniswap, and the success that Uniswap has had, over almost $6.3 billion in the market cap, and I'm sure lots of people have made a hell of a lot of money on Uniswap. And so why can history not repeat itself? And also the fact that Cetus is not just built on any ecosystem out there. It's built on Sui, which already has a very, very big market cap, over $12 billion in the Sui market cap. And of course, I believe that Sui is just going to keep rising as well. Let me know if you want a separate video on Sui as well. But yeah, with Cetus, I believe that we could, get around. I'm being conservative here. Around a 10x would be my price prediction on Cetus. Just from the fact of if people keep, comparing it to Uniswap and believing that Cetus is going to do as well as Uniswap, I believe this is just going to drive the market cap of Cetus higher and higher and higher. So yeah, 10x would be my personal opinion, and I believe that is honestly, that is conservative. I mean, like I said, if it was to reach the same market cap as Uniswap, which of course I believe that is probably a little bit ambitious, but that would be a 62x. So I believe a 10x is definitely on the conservative side. So apart from that, guys, I'd like to thank you very much for watching the video. Let me know what you think about Cetus in the comment section down below. Are you going to invest? Are you already invested? Just let me know. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you do hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.